Welcome back to our series in the key of G. Today is a bit of a doozy. If you haven't watched the previous few videos, please go back and watch those because they've all been leading up to this one. And this is a 2-octave exercise for each chord, outlining each chord for the chords in the G major diatonic chord series. So essentially you've got like an arpeggio outlining the G, and then outlining the A minor, outlining the B minor, and so on. And this is going to be 2 octaves worth of those. If you'd like to check out the tablature for this, head on over to patreon.com/MyBluegrassRomance. It is a lot easier to learn these with the tablature, and I'd recommend that. And I appreciate the support too. But let's get back into the lesson. So you're starting off with this ascending and descending G major arpeggio. And you end on the 3rd there, right? You don't go back down to the G. So what you're doing again is and from there you're going to the A minor arpeggio. And again, don't go down to the A, stop on the 3rd of that. And then you go into the B minor arpeggio. And again, you've stopped on the 3rd, which is the D. Now you go to C major. Now this is hard because up here, sorry, you got to use that pinky to reach. You can also do it like this. But I would encourage, try that reach. It's not going to be easy at first, but eventually you want to work your pinky into your playing if at all possible. So try to play that one. And again, end on that 3rd, don't go down to the C. From C major, you go to D major. To get that full 2 octave, we have to shift at some point. And so what I'm choosing to do, there's several ways to do it, but I think the easiest, and this is a great exercise for learning how to shift as well, is playing. And when you play that open A, which is the 5th, play this D with your 1st finger because it sets you up for this. Right? And again, so. Set up right there for this. And again, you've got that pinky going on. I would recommend that you try it, right? If you can't, you can also play that like this. And use your ring finger there. Now what you're doing is open string to shift up to here. Open string there to shift to your 3rd, which sets you up for the E minor, which is also going to use an open string shift. The E minor is going to be like this. Then play that open string. Don't do this with your fingers. I'm just doing it so you can see. Which gives you the opportunity to shift up here to the 10th. Both up and down. And I would practice that like kind of slow. Like just play like. I would get used to just playing going up to that 10th fret right there. Imagine you got your double down on your 12, right? So you're 10. So again, I'm just practicing. It's with your pick stroke, it's down, up, down, up, down. And I would practice that a bunch. Because that downstroke sets you up for that. And after you've played that, you get that open string on the E again. So that whole E minor again. And again, you had that pinky up there. You could substitute it for your ring finger. It would look like this. Open. And now's the doozy, the F sharp diminished. Now that's going to start with the F sharp here. We also get the luckiness of having one of the third of it is the open A. So you're going to play, and I use the same middle finger here. I go, and I play downstroke, upstroke, down on the 10. 14 is the highest we're going in this exercise. An open gives me the chance to shift back down again, so that F sharp is going to be open. And I would practice that a bunch. I would practice doing the E minor. Right into it. And then finally, we're going to play that open G. And that's the whole thing. Now, this is a doozy of an exercise to wrap your head around, but I would highly recommend that you learn it and do it over time. Like say, hey, this week I'm just going to learn that G. And get used to that, and then practice that into the A minor. And just do that a bunch of times. And then maybe just learn the B minor, right? Just do this a bunch of times. B minor. B minor. Again, I like to say it so I'm remembering like where I'm at in that progression. And then for those open ones like D to E minor to F sharp diminished, I would practice those again very slowly, so I was making sure I'm utilizing those open strings. Once you've done it enough, it starts to become second nature, and it's very helpful. You'll start to do it sort of secondhand when you're in jams and stuff. You'll just start using open strings to shift yourself around the mandolin, and it's really, really handy and helps you, not get caught up when you're going at higher tempos. So let me play the whole thing, and what I'm going to try to do here is play the entire thing ascending and then descending. And again, if you really like this, head on over to my Patreon, because the tabs are there, and sometimes it's easier to see those and like just put that worksheet in front of you and work through this. But I'm going to try to play the entire exercise, which is what I just did, both ascending and then descending. And I'll try to say the names as I go. G, A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, F sharp, diminished, G, G, F sharp, diminished, E minor, D major, C major, D minor, A minor, G. That is a doozy to try to work through that entire thing, and that might take you a month. It might take you a year, but I'm telling you, the benefits of like learning the fretboard like that and where you can transition and where you can put those chords in. You'll be in a jam and someone will say some weird or call a tune and it's got a certain chord in it, and maybe you don't know it, you're not familiar with it, but you're like, oh yeah, I remember I played that arpeggio. So when that chord comes around, you're like, oh yeah, B minor, I can play that. And it can add some musicality to your playing. I think this is really worth putting the time and effort into learning something like this, even though it can be quite challenging. I think you'll find that most of it is pretty decent until you start getting into those like E minors, into the F sharp diminished. I struggle with that. But then when I get back to the G, and the reality is some of those ones that you're playing more often at the jam, like G's and D's and C majors, right? Those are some of the easier ones with open strings, but even that F sharp diminished has an open string, right? So again, good luck. Let me know in the comments how I might help you learn this one better, and head on over again to Patreon if you want to see the tabs. Thanks.